guys, I'm Hex Trojan and welcome back to GamingHexer to what is now episode 8 of our second series in our Star System survival. Where we left off before, we were talking about that drone up there and trying to automate it in a way to get it to dock and refuel, and it turns out that that was just a pipe dream, and well, to get it to behave in that particular way is actually very difficult, especially when we throw in the fact that we're in a gravity well and autopilot behaves very specifically within a gravity well as opposed to when it's in 0G. If we were in 0G now in space, then we'd be able to get it to work perfect. However, I've had to make a few adjustments to get this to work properly, and I'll explain it as I go along. I'm just gonna get out this way because it's quicker to go out this way. Oh, I was just about to say I can't hear my engines, but I can hear them now. So here's our drone anyway, waiting to go. Basically, what the situation was that I was getting it to do its patrol. Let me just wait for the engines to stop. Or even better, let's land this guy. Right, here we go. So I was trying to get it to do its patrol around the sort of rim of this crater that we've established ourselves in, and that was fine. It can do that just perfect. It can get in and out, and it can maneuver around the base fairly well. And the first thing I tried was, okay, we're going to I stuck a connector out this way and had it all connected up, and tried to do a test on getting it to come in, turn backwards and back in. Now the problem that I was having there was, as soon as the drone comes to a stop and it thinks it's at the end of its autopilot sequence, it starts to spin madly out of control, like you saw in the previous episode at the end there. But further to that, I thought, oh well, I can get around that by, when it gets to that point, I can have the waypoint. You can set up actions at waypoints. So if I go to the drone scout, you'll see a little sneak peek of what I've got in store for you with this drone here. But you can see it says here drone refuel free actions, so that you can give the drone instructions much the same way you can give a timer block instructions at waypoints. So I said to it, okay, turn off the gyros, and that might help it stop spinning, and turn off autopilot altogether, and then I'll have another timer kick in on a delay sometime after when I think it's done refueling, and it can then tell it to reactivate autopilot, and autopilot will continue where it left off. But that was proven to be a problem. I soon figured out that regardless of whether you have auto collision or collision detection on the drone, on the remote control block in particular, switched on or off, you get within a few meters of a structure that's been built by you, and you just can't do anything. It just won't. And I found that out when I thought, okay, well, it's not docking, maybe I can get it to land much the same way it's landed here, and then have something drop equipment into it, and uranium or ammunition or whatever. And so I tried that, and that's when I found out that even if I put the waypoint exactly here, where on top of the remote control block as it stands right now, then it will still stop about a few meters above it, and it will hover there, and it won't matter what instructions you'll give it, it will stay there. And obviously it won't get to its waypoint, it won't complete the autopilot route. So from there, that gave me the idea, well, okay, I have to figure out a way of refueling this thing whilst keeping it on patrol, whilst keeping it away from my structure altogether. So it can't land and it can't connect to anything. So it literally has to hover and be refueled. And well, it's not the first time that, I mean, we do that nowadays with airplanes that refuel in mid-flight. So it can't be impossible in the game. So I've replaced the connector on the back with this collector. And this is the general idea. It's going to go on its patrol. As it does. And then obviously the patrol can be anywhere. You can send this patrol off, out. The best thing about the patrol, as long as you keep the refueling section of the patrol as is, then, which is about 3 waypoints, and I'll show you that in a second, then you can send this thing anywhere. And you can send it on a half an hour flight. You can send it back to the habitable planet and back again, as far as I'm aware. We'll do tests on that as we go along to see if we can come in and out of the atmosphere or in and out of a gravity well without too much trouble. But for this purpose of this exercise, he's going to do a patrol and he's going to fly through a structure that I've built over here, which is just big enough to avoid the collision detection. And from there, I'll show you actually. It's by no means finished, and we can get on with that as we go along. Over here, I've built a separate structure. Very simple, very basic. It's just a skeleton of it at the moment, and as you know me, I will flesh it out as we go along. The general idea is that he comes in from this direction, he stops here at a waypoint that lines him up with the waypoint that I've aligned underneath this connector here. When he's underneath this connector, I've given him instructions to turn off autopilot and turn off the gyros, and then start a timer that's on a 20-second delay. And then when that 20-second delay is over, it starts all the systems back up again and he continues back on his patrol. Now while he's here, this sensor block picks up on his presence, only picks up on the small ship. And when it picks up, it turns this connector up here to throw out anything that's in this inventory here. It still needs some fine tuning, because obviously you don't need to throw out everything. I mean, I need to figure out a way around that still. But once he gets here, he picks up on him, starts throwing out, basically starts lobbing stuff at the drone, which will be parked here, and anything that misses, or if something comes out and the drone has already moved off, gets collected back up again and goes back into the system. The drone gets to here, continues on his patrol. So I'm just going to give you a quick demo of that. Let me just quickly check my levels. I seem like I have enough. I thought I'd just come over here so you can see him taking off. He's going to go in that direction, I think, and start his patrol. So we'll just go to drone. There you are, drone scouts. Remote control block. Right, I'm going to make sure that it's reset first, so it doesn't end up flying to the wrong waypoint. And hopefully this doesn't completely go crazy, but it should be fine. So autopilot on, he's going to go, and off you go, sunshine. Right, so he's going to go off on his patrol. He won't be moving in for the manoeuvre to refuel until he comes around here and gets to this point here, at which point he's going to fly down. So I'm just going to... He's still up there, yeah? Put ourselves in a good position to catch. And while we're waiting for him to come around, I'll explain a bit more about what I want to happen over here. That's the one thing I like about this game as well, is, I mean, having to come up with ideas that you generally wouldn't have thought of in the beginning, but because I was forced to, because of the restraints and constraints with regards to autopilot in this particular environment, I had to think of a different way of doing it. So I think it's quite clever the way the game makes you do stuff like that. It makes you think outside the box. I mean, I would never have thought to have done it like this before. And obviously it was a lot easier to have it done in space. But the idea with this is I'm going to maybe harvest myself up some silicon from around the area and maybe bulletproof glass this thing up and have sort of like there's a passage here, so this will all be enclosed, so you will only see what's going on if you actually step inside. This will be a structure that you can walk into, and this will be like the interior, and you can be here, you can sit down and watch the drone coming in and out, whatever you want to do. Some nice lighting maybe that will come on when the drone enters. Maybe you can have this sensor or another sensor pick up on the drone's presence. Oh, and here he comes. So you'll see now he's got to the end of this small patrol that he's on, and I really should have put something in here to demonstrate this, but he's already got it all in his inventory. You'll hear the sensor, you should hear the sensor though, power on. So he gets to his first waypoint, that lines him up. He flies to the middle sensor, timer block, gyros. See the timer block flashing away there. He'll wait 20 seconds exactly before he turns everything back on again. Now, you heard the sensor block go. That's to instruct this connector to throw everything out. He should be off now again in a second. And you'll see that this sensor block will go off on the right hand side here. There we go, off. And that's it. And then he gets to the end waypoint there and back, cycling through his patrol again. So that's what took me so bloody long to work out. The main problem with this particular part was figuring out why autopilot wouldn't behave the way I wanted it to. But we've got it working now, and so we can start incorporating this structure now into being part of our base. We could even have a kind of like a galley or some sort of walkway that comes across from here, over to here. In fact, I might work on that now, and we'll get some work done. Finally, now that we've got a working drone, thank God, now we can just sort of fire and forget. The one thing, and this is what I meant by when I said fine-tuning, is that I could put in 1,000 of everything in this container, and when this drone pulls up, regardless of whether the drone has a full inventory or not, it's going to start chucking stuff at the drone, and I'm not sure how it will behave once it's full and it's still trying to receive. Whether that will damage the collector on the back of the drone or cause damage to the drone, I don't know. So the general idea is once you've filled this once, you can more or less forget about it, and it's only if you notice that your drone has gotten into a spot of bother, and you can always check that by checking his inventory. You can see here he's got a full load in both Gatlins. He's got so much uranium I cannot even count. Obviously the reactors that he has can hold a lot more uranium, but there's tons of uranium in his large cargo container, so or his medium cargo container, whichever it is. Oh, it's actually being held in the ejector. But that's actually quite good. I could have his ejector set to throw out the stuff that is excess, and that could be a way of managing his inventory. I think that's kind of good actually. He's back again. How are you? Right, so I'm going to work on how that's going to work, because if you see the ejector's there on the back, so if it threw it out from there, I'd have to work out where the stuff is going to land to be collected here. And obviously have it so that I guess the way to be certain would be have collectors lined up all the way along the bottom here, well, at least from here-ish to there. Right, anyway guys, I'll be right back. I'm going to get some building done, and I'll be back in a moment, so I'll see you in a second. Guys, so I finished a few little adjustments to the drone tube, as I've been calling it. This is it as it stands, and if I can get up there quick enough, you should see the sensor and lights kick in when the drone approaches, and here he comes now. Let's just get into position so we can see it properly. There we go. And what I'll do also, since he's here, if I can get there quick enough, is... oh damn it, he's gonna go, he's gonna go. There's a ejector. There, let's just take them where it flies off, and I'll put them into here, just so you can see. There's Gravities with us at the moment. Let me turn the light on. Hee hee. Just put ammo in to test. Right, unfortunately he's on a fairly long patrol. Let's see, there he is over there. He's going to have to come all the way around. The idea being that when he comes in range of this sensor here on the right, that it will start spitting the ammo out of there into the container. Yes, I am recording. Yay! Make you famous. Here we go. He's finally decided to make his way around. Camera. Hello people from Gravity Ore. He's a show off, isn't he? Right, he's coming in now, so let me get back in. I know I've already just shown you this, but this is it now with the collection of the items. So like, let's say he's running low, he's had a fairly long journey. You want to have something waiting for him when he gets back. There we go. Now that sounds more painful than what I think it is. As far as I know, he's not received any damage from doing that. Let's have a look. Oh. No, none. Cool. Get out of his way, and he flies off again. Now I guess the real test of this would be to send it on a very long mission. And that way we wouldn't get bored of seeing him fly around. It'd be nice to see him coming back now and again. And also it will help me test how he behaves when coming in and out of a gravity well. So that's the next thing I want to test, but we'll do that as we Might have to lose some of this. It's going to block anything from coming in. There we go. I can just bridge that gap there with some blocks of some sort. How's that going to work? Will I be able to get a door on there? I should be able to. Give it some space around the edges. That's not such a bad thing. Yeah, I think we'll be okay. So if I manage to go up from here, up and let's get that even out. Try and head up the way. So if I'm standing straight, that one that way. It's a bit steep, but we'll make it work because we'll make it less steep. Up here. Right. This is gonna be an entrance and platform for rovers. Keep it simple. Well, if I could spell. Platform. Wish there was an easier way to smooth this out now. Just seem to be butchering it, don't I? I want it to be almost like, I know I'm not going to have it over this end here, but almost like a subterranean entrance into this hangar. Doesn't look like that's going to happen though. Not at this rate anyway. Ooh, I've got an idea. I have the tools at my disposal right here and I'm not even bloody using them. Look at that. Unlock and up. Let's get a bit of angle on this. I can see I'm flying out. Okay. Oh, look how close that was. Up. God bless the right-click facility on the miners. There we go.
Oh yeah, it's awesome, isn't it? It clears out the ground. It's wicked fun.
You're right, fella. I thought you were nearby.
Yeah, mate, I'm here. I'm just logging in now.
Good man.
Probably seen about 10 minutes by the time my computer actually wakes up and decides that it's actually running. Yeah, I use that right quick facility an awful lot.
So anyway, it's dead Andy. It's helping me excavate at the moment. You should see the job that Gravities done on the hangar here. He's done a good job. It's looking, oh, I tell you what, it's getting better. Wow.
And I look forward to it. How come Gravity's not in the talk channel then?
I don't know, but he doesn't often come into the actual talk channel. I'm going to have to tell him actually that one of his sensors needs fixing. I'll do it myself.
A lot more interesting, especially when we all talk together.
No, I know. I know. In a perfect world, eh?
We ain't living in one, really.
Just showing off my absolutely appalling landing skills. There we go. I think he's noticed already. Has he noticed? These sensors need to be reduced. No, they're as low as they will go. Let me see how he's got them set up. On off should work.
Dinner done for later on anyway, which is cool.
Nice, nice.